Hey there, YouTubers. Tom here from Tom's Test Kitchen. And today I'm going to make something that somebody asked me if I could come up with. And this is the Smokin Guns BBQ rub. So here I've got some salt, some sugar, some brown sugar. And now the brown sugar is kind of interesting because I need to kind of toast this and then grind it into a powder. I've got some paprika, some chili powder. Where's it? Or some cumin, some white pepper, some coarse ground black pepper, some cayenne pepper. Yeah, it's gonna be spicy. Some onion powder, some garlic powder, and some accent. This is pure MSG. That's all it is. You can leave it out if you want, but the recipe calls for it, so I'm gonna stick with the original. And we got some cinnamon. And the secret ingredient, they say, is cocoa powder. I think they lied a little bit. They said, "Oh, there's only just a little bit," so the guy put a little bit. But I'm gonna try this. Okay, let's toast this brown sugar. So there's a quarter cup of brown sugar, and you just want to kind of break it up and then spread it out. I did think this was interesting how they said they did the brown sugar. So I had to experiment with this a little bit to get the right temperature and the right time. Because if you do too high of a temperature and you do it too long, you end up with caramel or whatever. And so I decided this was the best, was to spread it out and have the oven on 150 degrees for 5 minutes. Don't go any more than that, or you'll end up with caramel. Okay, I've let the brown sugar cool, so let's put it in a little mini food processor, or this is my spice and nut grinder. You could use like a coffee mill or something like that. Making a mess here. I should have done this in the first place. Just pick up the aluminum foil and dump it in. There we go. Okay, let's make brown sugar powder, or powdered brown sugar. Just need to pulse it a few times to grind it up nice. Boy, it smells good. Look at that. Yep, powdered brown sugar. Tastes really good too. It tastes a little different. So there we have it. Okay, I got all the rest of the spices all proportioned out, so let's put this together. Okay, I got a quarter cup each of salt, sugar, that powdered brown sugar, and paprika. I'm just going to dump this all into a bowl. Next, we got the rest of our spices. We got a teaspoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of white pepper, 2 teaspoons of coarse ground black pepper, a half teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and a teaspoon of onion powder. Yep. And then a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then we have a quarter of a teaspoon of cinnamon and a quarter teaspoon of cocoa powder. And then I've got 1 teaspoon of that accent, or MSG. Just curious how that tastes. Really doesn't have it doesn't you'd think it would be more like salt, but it doesn't have really have much of a flavor. So let's just dump this all in with the rest. and then mix it up really well. Now, I've never made a rub like this. It sounds really interesting. I was asked by somebody who emailed me because they had seen this on Diners, Dives, and Drive-Ins, and it's a place in Kansas City called Smokin Guns BBQ, and he asked me if I could recreate the rub, because there is a YouTube video of that show where the guy basically goes through these spices, but he doesn't show you the quantities or the amounts, and it did kind of interest me because he only put a tiny amount of cocoa powder. He says, yep, that's all you need, and I kind of think he was not honest about that. So that's why I ended up adding 1/4 teaspoon based on the rest of these amounts of the other spices. So I'm going to make a brisket, and that'll be another video. But for now, this tastes pretty good. It's sweet, it's spicy. Let's see how the brisket turns out. See you in the next video.